Hello, everybody in Facebook Live Land. We are the Podguyz podcast, bringing it to you as we do every Monday, 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. I'm Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neary here.
Of course, we have the ever-loving Picasso, the haunter of your dreams and nightmares.
Look at that.
It is Le Sparky. He says hi, by the way.
Yeah, I could.
Now, Mez, you're never gonna hear Sparky. You'll see Sparky. You'll see him pop up in your screen, up in the top corner, right up here. Do you have gallery set up for Zoom?
No.
So if you happen to go up into the top right black corner of your screen, up that way.
Yeah.
You're going to see a thing where it comes up. In particular, it says view, and then you can go speaker, gallery, or immersive. Go gallery. I should have done it in the pre-screening.
I was
dumb.
say it. I'm like, he's gonna trip into it regardless.
I know.
It's all right. I'm going to start to get a reputation. Last time I couldn't get sound working on my last podcast, and now at the start of this one, I can't get gallery
You're doing
working.
fine right now. You're doing fine.
Oh, without the gallery view, it just like pops up a random person, like whoever's talking, and you know.
Oh yeah.
That's I don't know who designed Zoom to be like that, where they're like, we'll just prop it up where the only person talking is there. So if you have like one of your coworkers fart loudly enough, you know, it just goes on them.
Their screen comes up yellow, and then they'll be like, "Hey, I'm on screen! Yay!" Guys, if you are joining us on Facebook, you already know. Go to merchbooth.com to buy some fantastic swag. Swag Daddy over to my left right here. Sparky is sporting the classic 2023 collection.
Look at that. The Podguyz podcast t-shirt can be made in small, medium, large, extra large, or for a lot of our viewers, XXX, sometimes XX. That's all right. We got a bigger audience, and big is beautiful.
You can even cut the sleeves off if you wanted to.
You could cut the sleeves off if you wanted to work out in that gear, and you know, you can do whatever you like with it. You know, all the money goes to a good cause.
A knock knock.
What's a knock knock?
I don't know. He was going like this. He was like, bra knock knock.
Oh God, no. We might have Podguyz podcast thongs come out though.
Ooh, that'd be interesting.
I mean, it'd be interesting to see what demographic buys it for their wife as a breakup gift. Like, oh, this is the gift that makes me break up with you, kind of thing.
I do that. Today in our Foursquare, we are pleasured to have with us today the beautiful Mezi Atwood. Thank you very much for coming on our show today.
Thank you, Tony. Thanks for having me. It's an honor.
Oh,
there is a little bit of an accent there. Am I missing that, Tony?
You definitely hear an accent of some sort. Yes, you do.
Yeah, that is not a United States accent. That is not a West Coast. That is not a Southern accent. I'm trying to place it. What's that?
Oh, she's Australian. That's right. That's right. You may notice her from such movies as Mezi.
Log Boys Forever, Smile, True Spirit, The Devil Conspiracy, The Old Man, lots of things.
Smile. That's a great movie, by the way. Great movie.
Thank you. I haven't seen it yet. I was just in the
How dare you? How dare you?
I want to. I just haven't had time to sit down, but you know, I saw it being made, so that's okay.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. You were there during the process.
I guess in the movie Better Man, you went as a concert goer. In the movie Worst Man, you went as a concert leaver. Is that correct? Or am I half right?
Yeah. No, you're 100% right there.
All right.
I go, and then after a while, I leave.
Oh, okay. All right. So you see, they should have given you credit for both going and leaving. You know,
they should.
These accreditations.
We need to take that up with Robbie Williams.
You know, they probably cut out the leaving part so that way they didn't have to double credit you.
Yeah, probably, but that's okay. One credit's all I need.
So what do you happen to think of the Australian movie experience right now. No, especially since you guys had a horrific lockdown in Australia that really pickled the whole community as a whole, and places are boarding up. They're going out of business. Unfortunately, it's not a stable type of thing. But what's been going on down there?
I like how Tony related it to what you do with Kirby cukes and then throw them in a jar and add a bunch of vinegar into the idea. You know, the pickling process has never been more used as a COVID fucking reference.
Shut up! Let her answer.
Just throwing it out there for all you pickling fans out there.
So much. I hate you. I'm coming to your house and I'm gonna strangle you on camera.
This is the most fun I've had in 2 days, man. I'm telling you.
You're delusional on Gatorade. Yeah. So down here, COVID was brutal. It really was. With the exception of bits here and there, like a few days here and there, we were locked down for a good 2 years. And that's had a huge impact on our, industries and so forth. Like my partner works in, he's a glazier, so he's in the building construction industry.
I think it's okay to call him your husband.
My husband? Okay. My husband.
Yeah, husband, partner. You say partner like it's just like, he's my partner. No, he is your husband. Throw it out there. Throw it out there for everyone.
My husband. We're not officially married yet, but we will be.
Getting there.
Getting there. We're slowly getting our shit together, so that's good. But yeah, we like movie industry, we couldn't film. A lot of movies got deferred, and then there were issues with that. His industry, they can't get glass. He's a glazier, they can't get glass. People are really struggling here. Our inflation has just hit the highest it's been in over 30 years. It's $7 for a loaf of bread.
Goddamn.
It's just as cheap to eat steak as what it is to eat 2-minute noodles here in Australia. Cereal's $10 a box, People are going broke. Wow. It's absolutely horrible. And, we definitely need to be banding together down here and helping each other out, because
there's no mathematical sense of why it is that way, but there is a reactionary sense from behavioral standpoint of why it would be that way. So when people were getting paid in America or paid via the government, whether it be Australia or Europe, a lot of profitable businesses had to mark down a loss that year. And I don't want to be, I'm not saying that every rich person in the world did this, but enough corporations did, so that way they can't direct the pointing finger at somebody. They just said, you know what, let's just jack the prices up until we get our numbers right again, because there's no actual shortage of stuff. Whatever happened to keeping the price the same and running the fuck out? I don't get the we have eggs here now. Eggs are like $7 for a dozen eggs. Dude, keep them at $2 and run out. What are you doing? But instead of that idea, they say, well, you know what? We'd rather rip people off and have them spoil on the shelf because it's a perishable item. So what they're trying to do eventually is most centralized, most governments or most treasuries everywhere are trying to take every dime that they ever put out there and get it back tenfold. And until that happens, the inflation stays the same. And even worse is that you're going to find a lot more. It kind of works against governments in the same fashion, because here you got people going on welfare that had never been on welfare before and adding to that number. So you have some politicians over here saying, see, the number's gone up because things have gotten worse because of X, Y, and Z's policies. And then you got the other jerk offs that are saying, oh, no. We're just taxing rich people too much. When in fact, it's both of them with the same dumbass math together. 2 + 2 = 3 to the one and 2 + 2 = 5 to the other. So instead of agreeing that they're both wrong, they say, we negotiated and we said 2 + 2 = 8. That way, 5 + 3, we could both be right twice as fast.
Well, I read an article, and I don't know how true this is, just an article I read, that the world in general got over COVID got poorer by 3.2 trillion, but the rich, like the richest 1% in the world, got richer by 3.2 trillion.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
So
because
it was the exact same
leverage.
amount.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, but because the rich have what you would call leveraged money, which means that
Yeah.
their money will always be able to bring them back a return. If it'd be like a child setting up a lemonade stand, and the kid's turning a profit a week or two, and then the richest man alive sets up a stand right next to him, and his lemonade is free, plus you get a hot dog. If you get a hot dog there for free, also. What I'm saying is that a person that has billions of dollars can take a loss for 2 months, take the little guy out of business, then jack the price up to wherever the hell they want to, just to squash the competition. Hell, they'll probably give the kid a job anyways. He was out of his realm to a degree. But that's what they do. They try to crush dreams, and you know what? That's kind of what it comes down to in the entertainment industry. People wonder why they can't find great actresses such as yourself. And you know what it's all about? Who you know? It's a lot about agencies as well, and it's all about who's owed a favor. Sometimes it's never always about who's the most talented or how many movies would you be in by now, Miz?
Yeah, no, it's definitely not. Like, it's very much a who you know and what connections you have. Also creating opportunities for yourself and making people listen. They're massive, and I'm very, very, very lucky, and I have to credit my son and my husband for this. My career was going nowhere before COVID, and then I started doing influencer work, and that kind of blew up over COVID. But then once I was able to go back to work, I'd met some incredible people that way, and I was able to create opportunities for myself and so forth.
I'm going to stop you for 1 second. As you say influencer, the word influencer does mean a couple different things. What did you influence and what did you do in order to be an influencer?
So I made a bunch of stupid videos. They had a lot of, dirty jokes and stuff in them, but
Perfect.
I also worked with some great brands, and this may seem planned, but it really wasn't. I'm actually wearing one of the t-shirts. So this is a fashion designer I worked with over COVID, and it was
nice.
mental health.
I have anxiety.
And that's me when I had red hair. And yeah, I worked to help get that brand out. I worked with some artists on shows and things like that,
Cool.
So I didn't necessarily sell products and be like, this is the world's best mascara, please buy this, or I don't know, how do they do it, please buy this. And they I wasn't really that kind of influence. I more made videos and talked about experiences and being kind to one another, that sort of thing.
Now, not necessarily that people that say that, being kinder to your fellow gentleman, your fellow woman, just humans in general should be not much nicer to each other. And we're not. There's a lot of scummy people out there, unfortunately. And I think that in the entertainment industry, you hear a lot about people just getting together for a common goal. And we hear it a lot here on the Podguyz podcast, of course. And as we interview and we get to talk to different people who are in the entertainment industry, of course, they always talk about, meeting the right person, making sure that you're putting out the right vibe, because people who don't put out the right vibe don't get jobs. And I think that's very fair. I mean, be nice, be grateful, be graceful as well, so that, you have a job tomorrow.
Exactly. One thing I hate, so many people say this to me and it annoys me. They're like, oh, you don't take roles in this sense, or you don't take this kind of acting job because otherwise people won't take you seriously. And I'm going, an acting job's an acting job, and you never know who's going to be on set, who you're going to meet, what that acting job can lead to. So maybe that one acting job won't necessarily get you credibility, but what that can lead to will. And that's kind of how I always, did my career. Was I started as a background extra and worked my way up, and I learned every aspect of film, and now I produce and make my own movies. Like, if you keep stepping it up, then people are going to take notice eventually. And, I've got some real blunders in my, past, but that's okay.
And see, that's
Everyone
true.
does.
That's true in every situation, except for this one situation. Young actor of the name Jim Varney was asked to do a couple commercials one day and play this kind of sideways hillbilly type person, Ernest. Have you heard of Ernest?
Yes,
You know what I mean?
I
And
do.
he never stopped playing Ernest until cancer took him away from us, which is just, it's terrible. But sometimes I think the warning always is, for example's sake, look at how long Kelsey Grammer has played Frasier.
Yeah.
Shit. The guy, by the way, Kelsey Grammer, high school dropout, was waiting tables up in New York, and he would tell us some of the tables that he was an actor. I think what he said clicked for him the one day, and one of the tables said, well, if you're an actor, then why aren't you acting right now? So he dropped everything that he could and stole a car and drove it out to L.A. Not even a joke. He got arrested. Person that he stole the car from didn't press charges, but the person, he's such a good, not great, but he's a good actor enough to the point where he could play a therapist and not be even close to as smart as the person he's playing, where Jim Varney could recite Shakespeare, and they were like, hey, you look like a weirdo. Play a hillbilly. They keep saying, you know what I mean, Vern? And save Christmas, because without Ernest, we wouldn't have Christmas right now. Tony, you know that, right?
That's true. That is true.
It's not true at all.
Typecasting is definitely a something that can, do, weird things to your career. I, for a while there, for a good sort of close to a year, the only roles I was being given was playing the bitch, like the massive bitch.
Yeah.
And I do play a good bitch. Don't get me wrong. I was
going to say, did you play the role well?
I did. I can abuse you on cue. That's fine. Some people like that, but at the same time, it's so far from who I am. I don't like being a bitch. I don't like being mean. However, that's kind of my sense of humor. Anyone who works with me knows that I will, say the bitchiest possible thing first, laugh about it, and then apologize and say what I actually mean after that. It's clearly I'm joking, but it's who I am.
That sounds like it goes over great at funerals.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. So it looks like another one bit the dust. Yeah. No, my funeral's gonna be hilarious.
Speaking of funerals, Sparky, what do you got on the big board over there? Is it Ernest's new movie?
Hey Vern, what happened to Santa? And well, that's kind of weird. It looks like Santa is a lot thinner than what he used to be.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
He's
What's
dead
that
also.
up in the top corner, Kevin?
Looks like a balloon. I don't know. It looks like, what do you call them? A hot air balloon.
Oh,
That's probably what it is.
I think that's a Chinese weather balloon.
Oh, the Chinese weather balloon. Now,
Yeah.
Mezi, did you see the Chinese weather balloon going over Australia? No?
No.
Because you know how many U.S. bases we have there? We have about 15 different U.S. bases surrounding China that somehow also missed the Chinese weather balloon that got all the way over to the Midwest, and everybody's freaking out, saying the Chinese have been spying on us.
All the way to South Carolina.
South Carolina it got.
That's hilarious.
I'm not sure. Now, they found 3 of them total, 3 Chinese weather balloons. Now they're saying they were weather balloons, but there were fucking VCRs inside of them. No, if you're going to record on anything, you're going to want to do it on a Betamax, right?
I'm kind of glad I'm in Australia now.
It is what it is. You know, there's a lot of craziness going on in the world. You know,
But Tony, it just
unfortunately.
feels like a weird thing to spy on somebody with. Like,
Yeah.
can't you just bug our phones? Is your country doing that bad that you're like, send a balloon?
I don't know. I heard
What are
Mexico.
you talking about, send the balloon? Send the balloon.
I
Is there a
heard
leader
Mexico-
that fucked up where he's like, send 8 balloons, and then 3 come by because wind took the other 5 away? Jesus Christ, get in touch with yourself, China.
I heard that Mexico is going to put them in piñata soon.
Mexico would never do that. Because for as much as like people in that's another thing I don't understand. People in Texas like to say, we guard the border with our lives. And then the next thing they say is, they keep getting through. What the fuck are they, all goddamn Bugs Bunny? Going underneath the goddamn thing, tunneling through, popping up on the other side, calling you maroon? This isn't a thing. You can't brag about doing one thing poorly, apparently, and then complain about how you don't have any extra government help. By the way, people from Texas normally complain about the government as well.
A ton.
A ton, Mezi.
Yeah.
That's all they do. They complain about the government interfering. So the government's like, go ahead, then do your thing. And then they're like, whoa. We need
control.
You mean interference? No. I don't know. Maybe what Texas should do is get those fucking balloons on the border. You know, get a couple predator cameras around there.
That's true.
They want to, or do my idea. Open up the border, right? Tell everybody that crossed the border, say, hey, you're an American citizen now if you cross that border. By the time you know it, probably take about 2-3 days. Mexican president's going to come up and say, I don't have any people left down here. And you could say, you know what? We noticed that too. Give you about $50 for the place. Sound fair?
Sounds pretty fair.
Kind of brilliant. Like,
I mean, it's not
it's a
the
good plan.
worst idea. It's something it's actually the exact opposite of what we've been doing. So since we've been doing something that really has been working, let's flip it around. Look at that. Meanwhile, in Texas, the wall is broken. Look at, there's somebody on the balloon right now in that picture. And
Oh my God, it's a coyote.
the balloon looks to be getting.
I miss the balloon. That's awesome. I'm liking Sparky.
Oh, that's my favorite so far, Spark. I gotta
That
get that
balloon
on a
just
shirt.
got 10 times bigger.
And he was so quick with it too. I love
Yeah.
it. I'm liking Sparky. Gorgeous model, smart, funny, the whole
I love it.
package.
I love it.
Oh,
Oh,
oh.
Mezi, let's talk about you. Let's talk about Mezi Studios, right?
Yeah.
And do you have some cool, exciting like stuff coming out, or can you not really talk about like the production side as far as like, do you have movies coming out soon? Are you working on more indie films? Are you looking at more like big budget, productions?
Yeah, I do. Like yes to everything. I can't say too much. Like I can't give too much away.
Sure.
But yeah, I do have some amazing projects on the books. I just met with my production team last Friday, and we spent 9 hours sitting there running through everything, all our ideas, everything we want to develop. And we have about 35 series, movies, that sort of thing, because we are wanting to branch out into series as well.
Okay.
I'm working with this amazing artist. I have to give him a bit of a plug because he's the quietest, nicest, most reserved person.
Please
And
plug
he'd never
away.
do it for himself.
Plug away.
Daniel Bellick. He came up with a comic book series called Coffin Dodger, which is on sale on Amazon. But it is absolutely incredible. So I saw that he actually grew up with my husband next door to him, and they hadn't spoken in years. And as soon as I saw what he was doing, I said, get me in contact with this guy. I grabbed him and he designed the demon in The horror movie that we're bringing out, he
Not too many
also-
husbands react nicely to those words, by the way. Get me in contact with this guy, you know.
I mean, that's okay. He's not jealous. I'm like, no, we have a love affair. I say that constantly. So yeah, all good. He's not a jealous guy. He knows he's my one and only. So
Aww.
and I love everyone. Yeah, so we're doing that. We're going to develop Coffin Dodger into a series.
Excellent.
We'll have an anime that he's going to do. He's going to start doing the Comic-Con circuit.
Awesome.
And he's just one of the incredible people that we have working with us. We have some big budget movies coming up, so not necessarily indies. Yeah, big stars, all of that. Like I said, I can't say too much. I want to so bad because they're so exciting. You know, NDAs, and I don't want to like go broke from spilling secrets. I don't want to do a Tom Holland.
Well, don't
So I
forget to
think-
tag us when you can spill them.
I will.
Of
I will. I'm
course,
gonna come
of
back on
course.
and I'm gonna
Tag
be
the
like,
whole
Sparky,
thing.
I'm only gonna tell Sparky, and then he can tell everyone else.
There, he
Oh,
can just tell
perfect.
us through drawing and pictures, because that's what he does. I'll get a knock at the door, and so will Tony once in a while, and I get a knock at the door, and Sparky's just there with like little fucking captions. That's how he talks most of the time, and we're just like, dude, you have a voice, you know, like just the
Yeah.
Well, Tony, we did want to talk to her about what your reactions were to. They're calling it now. It is now called the Beyonce Grammys. Did you pay attention to that stuff, Mezi?
Oh, I have very, very mildly heard. I was in meetings while it was on, so I haven't
Oh.
seen it completely. But
This was just why even watch? You know, like
By the way, Kevin, they are living in the future.
Oh,
okay,
yeah,
they're
I-
yeah, I know.
They're in
I've
the
been over
future,
on that
and-
side of I've been over on that side of the world. My fiance.
You know what it's like to be in the future.
Yep, I've been I've actually done the show from over there before.
Mhm.
Not in Australia, but I was in Cebu.
Yeah,
The Philippines.
Yep.
That's where my beautiful, smart, loving fiance lives.
Aw.
She's on a Long Island right now, but we're just waiting for all the paperwork to get through. But the Beyonce's the Grammys they're calling them the Beyonce Grammys because she won like every award except like the big ones.
yeah,
So
I
Yeah,
heard
she swept.
that,
She swept
Harry
the
Styles-
the smallest of the small, and then left the big ones for everyone else.
yeah,
She's
I
just
don't get
"Ah."
like if she was gonna like lose, does everybody think that Jay-Z's gonna shoot them?
you can't say that.
I did. You know what? Because that might be his blueprint, number 26. Because you're allowed to name albums more than one thing. Uh-oh. Right? He has had 26 albums all called the blueprint. That is the opposite of creativity. You're in the business for creativity. And
That's
he's
true.
stuck. And he's literally stuck with that same rhythm too. Akatapiko, akatapito, akapakatapakakapika. I got it, dude. I got it.
Number one on iTunes next week. That is.
Dude, it's all the same rhythm.
Yeah, he's gonna sample that right out. That's gonna be on the next album.
It's pretty much the same stuff. Listen, Ja Rule used to do a similar kind of thing. It was like a derivative from what was already done. It was just Jay-Z's like, oh, you know, I own the music industry. It's like, dude, you don't. It's good. Like, it's nothing now. You've basically now it's just Jay-Z and Kanye, and I think we all know what happened to Kanye. Somebody's got a lot of heat on his brain, you know, and it's just he's fucking boiling over.
This rap is too tight.
You know, we have followed Kanye from story 1 to story 1000 before, Mezi, all right? So this guy's ending to his story is pulling up in a Ferrari, getting out of that Ferrari and screaming about how the Jews took all of his money. Now, hold on now. You're in a Ferrari, okay? Somehow, now you're saying the Jews took all your money and they stole it all away from you. That doesn't appear to be a person you continue to ask a follow-up question to unless you're looking for some more bait. You know,
We have
any
a
journalistic
preacher-
integrity, you know, they'd be like, all right, it's cut.
We have a preacher in the United States here by the name of Joel Osteen as well. very well known, very prolific world spiritual leader who does the same sort of speech integrity on top of his yacht.
One day, people just liked the way I said Jesus, so I started saying it a bunch of times. Then they threw
gave
a
me
dollar in
money.
my pocket, another dollar in my pocket. I'd walk up to little old ladies talking about the dress, and I'd say, Jesus blesses you today. And they'd say, here's a nickel for you, son. I'm sure you'll steal more from me in the future. God bless you too, ma'am. I made $1 million that day for God and for me. And God wanted me to have that money because fuck you. It's like, what? What was that last part? Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was just the devil there for a moment.
Jesus blesses you.
Wow. Wow.
Sparky, what do you got for us, brother? What do you got? And at the Grammys, we were waiting for a Madonna to arrive.
Oh, Madonna was there to arrive. And as you can see, the person dressed in green and the
Hey, there's
balloon.
Madonna.
Is that Madonna arriving? Is that hanging from her part right there? Or is her part grasping onto that thing and something spawned out of it? We don't know.
That's
We don't know.
tampon string. Her Kegel exercises are on point.
That is
Madonna's Kegel exercises.
that is a hell of a
point. You
clamp
heard
right
that
there.
from Mezi Atwood, everyone.
Sorry, everyone.
Perfect.
Come on, that's funny.
That woman's
That's her
big.
tampon string connected to the weather satellite balloon.
I am positive every single muscle in that woman's body is hard as a rock. Like, that woman's fit. And if that includes Kegels, good on her. And good on whoever her partner is at the time.
I hear.
Good for
All
that
I can see is
80-year-old
like
woman.
whenever her legs open, Dante's Inferno starts playing like ha 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 ha, you know, and you're like, oh my god, ha, ha, and you're like that
Madonna's
fucking-
vagina!
that picture from Al Pacino's office in Devil's Advocate. People start moving around and shit, and you're like, oh my god, you know, and then you become one of them, like, you know, her. And so it's become a whole
Just like
entity.
this.
Yeah. You remember the thing, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't even want to say what's going through my head right now.
yeah.
We want to hear it, Mezi. We want to hear it.
I mean, you know, you just speak your mind. No one's, gonna sue you over this at all. You know, well,
I thought you were going to say no one's judging me. I'm like, everyone
Nobody's
judges
watching.
me.
yeah, no one's watching. They're all watching.
Oh, well, that says more about you guys than what it says about me then.
It does, but you know,
Perfect.
they're only missing the best
We
show.
have a fair amount of watchers every week, of course.
a lot
We
of
love our
downloads off of,
watchers. We love them.
We get a lot of
No.
them off of Spotify, Facebook Live, of course. You know, they're popping on right now. But we're not saying anything. We're not saying anything that's not anecdotal. You know, we're not. You know, obviously, we're not serious about Madonna's vagina having life forms in front of it and stuff like that. So that is just viewer and listener discretion advised. That is not true. That we know of.
No, I'm sure your viewers are great. And that's why I wanted to come on. Like, it's more for the viewers because, you know, I've heard they're the best viewers on the internet.
It's not saying about the internet. I like how you know what I hate? I hate how the internet has gotten itself to the point where okay, so it's at that point. You know how it started off in 1996, no one really used it, no one cared about it. It was like 0 years old. People were like, "Hey, look at this great thing," like somebody's new baby. And you're like, "Oh, I guess, right? Well, that's fucking good for you, buddy." And then by the time it's like 4, you're like, "Whoa, hey, that's still going on." It's 2000 and they're like, "Yeah. And one day it'll destroy the world." Like, yeah, it's the year 2000, dude. You're not scaring me with that
Yeah, we're good.
Y2K kind of stuff, you know?
That
So
type
then,
of
like-
movie's been made.
Yeah, so then like 5 years later, the internet's like 9 years old. You're like, whoa, hey. All right. A lot of porn on you, isn't there? Holy shit. Nothing but
Have
porn.
you ever tried those porno games where they're like, oh, you will finish in 5 minutes? And then, like, I wanted to try, like, not try one, but like see what.
Oh,
they're all
Mezi.
about.
Like, I get your point. Like, do you get your money back if it's like 6 minutes? Like, all right, I got the cam on me right now.
Oh, yeah, just a free one.
Stopwatch
Just a free
and the
one.
game.
And my partner downloaded one, and we were.
Sparky, this is the perfect time for a latex fetish with the balloon, by the way.
I swear, like an hour and 45 minutes before anything happened. Like you have to hit on people and then they reject you. I'm like, this is like real life. It's way too like there's no fantasy there. You have to go out to the
Wait, there's rejection.
Wait a second. Now hold on, Mizzy. Now hold on, because a lot of people that are downloading these games are getting off on rejection, and they're just like, "Oh, it happened again." Oh,
It's a
30
kick
seconds in.
fetish. It is a fetish.
Yeah.
Then why don't they just go to the pub?
Yeah, there you go.
You could for recovering alcoholics out there. I mean, that still want to get rejected by video game people. It's
You can get rejected in a 3D environment in the pub.
yeah, it's like when you see like a super nerd go around and be like, check out my NFT, and the girl's like, can you give me heroin? It's like, wow, man, you guys should not have sex, both of you. I mean, she's probably got something. You're gonna have child support, and it won't even be your kid. It's gonna be terrible. She's already.
That's how you get smart, beautiful babies.
I mean, maybe that's how you get criminal babies too. You could say the same, that just look good. You're like, that's one good-looking criminal over there. Him. He's the sharpest dressed thief in town, man. Hair of gold.
So, Mezi, what has changed for you? I'm going to get back to you because we veered off topic a little bit.
That's okay.
What has changed for you in the industry as far as what you need to do, and even to hit the world market now? Ever since COVID has hit, of course, in your particular production company.
Well, I started my production company like last year, so
Yep.
mine was well after, like I wasn't operating through COVID. So, but I'm really lucky that I kind of started it and it kind of took off. I did enough work before it that people kind of knew who I was. I had a bit of a reputation within the industry that people were like accepted it for what it was. And yeah, I'm really lucky in that sense. And I like I keep saying, it's not just me. I have great people around me, amazingly talented people that I have to give credit for.
Now, would you say the same thing if there wasn't good people around you too? You'd be like, no, they're just all right, but I have them. And not necessarily that you have them around for something, but you have them around for
It depends on how long you keep bad people around. Like, you really want to, if you already know something's not working, you really want to just, all right.
Yeah, I do very kindly, if someone's not right for the project or doesn't work well in the team, it turns toxic very quickly in this industry. Like because you're so close and you work so hard together for so long, you end up, if there's conflict, it blows up. It's very much like high school. And I refuse to have, I did not like high school. I refuse to have high school again. So I will sort of very kindly ask people to leave or fire people if they're not working well in whatever, or if they're not doing their job properly. There's not much I ask from people. But when we're on the set, one of my rules is you respect everyone, whether they are a producer or whether they are a runner, big or small. Every job is important to get the movie made. So you respect and you treat everyone nicely. I don't care if you're the star of the movie, you treat the assistants with the utmost respect that you would treat anyone. The other thing is do your job. Do your job and do it well. That's going to make it easier, because if you're worried about what everyone else is doing, you're not worried about your own job. And if people aren't going to follow that, if they're going to be disrespectful, or if they're not going to perform their role, then maybe they need to find an environment that's going to allow them to be what they want to be. So it's nothing personal. It's just, not everyone, and my approach isn't right for every single person in the industry. some people get cranky about it, and that's
Wait a
okay as
second.
well.
Why is that? You seem like a perfectly delightful person. I'm not even joking. Like, for people to not get along with you, that's when you gotta really like take a look at them more or less.
Look, you always have conflict. There's actually one person that's quite big, and there's no way I'm naming this person, quite big in the entertainment industry, and they seem like a really lovely person as well.
Is it
But
Katie Couric? It's Katie Couric, isn't it?
well, she's not
It's The Rock.
Australian, but
We all know it's Katie Couric.
It's The Rock.
oh, anyway, I'm not saying yes or no to anything. No, they, I saw them. I'm like, you seem nice, but you're not, and he knew that I saw them, and yeah, that was it. And we don't get along, there's always people you don't get along with. Oh,
Sparky, what do you got, brother? What do you got? Oh, this is on the set of Rust. Now, Mezi, I don't know if you've ever seen the big articles about the Rust film.
Yeah.
But
You will hold that target for Mr. Baldwin. Now that's a shitty job right there.
oh yeah. Yeah.
look, I love Alec Baldwin. I think he's incredible, and I honestly, like, my heart breaks for him that this is what his amazing career has come to, and I'm under the opinion that he hasn't done anything wrong.
And work day shifts at the graveyard and graveyards at the days in to work my way back to the mailroom there, Lemon. Love, Alec Baldwin is so quotable in everything that he's ever done that it's tough to blame a person that is on the bus for the bus driver killing the person in front of them. It's that like, hey, here's a gun. You're in pretend land. Here's a pretend gun. It will not kill anybody.
Yeah.
You then have to say to yourself, okay, are you a professional? As they said, of course I am. Why would I be handing you a gun that's in pretend land if it would work? He says, all right, points and shoots. And people are criticizing him because he didn't shoot it in the air first. How the fuck are you supposed to know that it's real? What do you wait for the bullet to hit you in the head on the way back down? I don't get it.
Well, there's a rule of thumb in the movie world where you never fire at someone in order to hit a specific body part. Am I correct?
Yeah.
So
you're always firing away from someone, whether it be like right here or here.
We actually had a shooting scene. We had to redo it. We had blanks.
Yeah,
we had a shooting scene. We had blanks in the gun for the movie Man in a Box. And they tested the gun. It was a prop gun. They tested the blanks. They went through round after round after round. And the girl was giving them some problems that she didn't want to do at the scene because she was tied to a chair and they were going to aim it directly at her head and then back away and then get the camera angle correctly. And that bullet, right when it came out, died immediely and went back down. There was and it was aimed right at her. I was right in the room during the shot. And then, you see it on camera and it worked out. It's a great shot. It was just, there was a lot of hesitation and it's a very tense moment when you're pointing a weapon at somebody and nobody did anything wrong. This is nobody's lives are in danger. You're just doing it to portray storyline in a fantasy. So it's just, I guess rule of thumb, you might want to point it a different direction or whatever, but that's not always a concern if you're trusting so much in the staff, like.
Yeah, and look, there's lots of rules of thumb on set, you make sure that, I'm trying to think, all right, you always wear a gown when you're getting your makeup done or touched up. But then if you've just done a shot and you need to quickly get to another shot, you're not going to put your gown on, get the makeup artist out and do it. They just come and they just do it. And, there's always an exception to every rule. And sometimes things move too quickly. Sometimes it could be, 28 day of shooting for 20 hours a day straight. And, you forget things and stuff. And we've all made mistakes. Every single person that works in film has made a mistake. And yes, with firearms, you need to be a lot more vigilant. But, you know, Alec Baldwin, he got the gun. He asked if, you know, it was all good. He was assured, and he just didn't even think, you know, why would another professional get it wrong? You know, why would it happen? And, you know, I just feel like he's kind of being made an example of.
I think so too. And not to
Yeah.
say that does that always happen in even Australia. Now, Australia has made their own movies exclusively for the Australian moviegoers, of course. But the big influx in Australia is American movies as well. So what would
Yeah.
you say is the ratio of American movies as compared to American or Australian made movies in Australia right now?
Oh, I wouldn't even have a clue. That's a hard one. There's definitely a lot more. Our tax breaks since COVID, the tax rebates in LA or in America don't even compare to the tax rebates here in Australia. And because our studios and our equipment, our talent is so state of the art that you know, they can come and shoot it here. And that's how we do a lot of you know, co-pros and so forth. It makes it a lot cheaper. And when I say that, like, takes millions off the budget by doing it that way. I don't know. I would have to take a stab in the dark and say, look, there's probably 20-30% US productions a year. I mean, that's taking into account all the indie films and so forth
Of
that are
course,
made
yeah.
here. But yeah, there's still some
I
Australian
mean,
films
Australia is a
made
really
in
good
LA.
destination. There's beautiful, beautiful scenery,
Beautiful.
lots of heritage and
Yeah.
you know, nature, of course. In
Speaking of
Australia.
heritage, though, Tony, a lot of hares there too. A lot of rabbits. Don't you guys have a little bit of a rabbit problem over there? We have a whole bunch of overly eager hunters around here, so maybe we can just send them over there, and
Yeah, but we
they'll
have
take.
a lot of snakes as well. So they tend to kill the rabbits.
Yeah, they have a whole program out there for the rabbit killing. But the problem with the rabbits is they fuck so quickly that, you know, they're by the time you know, there's more rabbits everywhere.
Yeah,
You
but
know.
Kevin, they own Australia owns 60% of the world's most deadliest creatures.
That is true. So it's kind of feeding
Yeah.
something that's deadly, getting them bigger to go and getting them more fuel to go into town. I mean, you know, just like, how did that crocodile get so big? Like, well, he's been eating nothing but rabbits his whole way
Well, you
here.
know what they do? You know what they do in Darwin? There's this common prank. People out on the piss and all that sort of stuff. They'll prank one of their mates by going and capturing a small crocodile and letting it go in their swimming pool. So you wake up the next day and there you have a crocodile in your swimming pool.
That's really funny. That's a great prank right there.
You know how their mouths work, right? All their power's coming down. So if you jump on them, you can literally with 2 fingers hold their nose closed because they've got no power going up. So you just make sure you hold their mouth closed and you're perfectly safe until you let go. And then
That's
you know,
right,
then I-
folks. Mezi, the alligator wrangler. She's
You know,
gonna throw that on her resume soon.
I always thought
Yeah.
people were like super strong when they were doing that. Like, look at that. I'm like, whoa, fuck, dude's
Yeah.
got some strength on him.
it takes absolutely no strength. Like I've seen girls pull their hair out and use just a, you know, hair elastic around their mouth to stop them. Because even that is enough.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know they're when their jaws close, like they have 1,000 pounds of bite force, you know, to go like this, but they can't open it back up again.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow, because they lock it in there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, alligators, crocodiles, Komodo dragons, these are all things that when you run into those people that, and I don't want to like associate a certain religion with it, let's just call them idiots, because why not, right? So when you run into certain idiots out there that just say dinosaurs never existed, and you know you just bring up the alligator thing, like, well, an alligator kind of looks like a dinosaur a little bit, and they're like, well, yeah, but that's just that one. It's like, what about a Komodo dragon? What about all reptiles? Maybe we were just really short at one time and they were really that large. Could that be a possibility? And then you get the whole, oh, maybe, because you're not talking to a normal person at that point in time. You're talking to a person who has zero education, wants to be just the opposite of everybody else. So that way it looks like they have information that you don't. When in fact, all they have is a mental illness that can never be cured, because you can't cure stupid, Tony. They've been trying for years. Sorry there, Sparky. What do you got going on there, man? Hey, get out of the pool. He's got a boomerang there, and there appears to be an alligator, and there's that damn Chinese balloon.
Weather
again.
balloon. God damn it. That weather balloon's everywhere. Even in Australia.
Sparky, is this how you're getting all of those shots? Are you really in that balloon the whole time? Because we always wonder how he gets around so much. And he is.
I knew it.
For the non-viewing audience out there, Sparky is nodding adamantly that he is the one inside the Chinese weather balloon.
Chinese water balloon. Oh, that's fantastic.
I don't understand. I still don't understand how that was a top story.
Mez, I got 2 questions for you before we actually wrap up and leave.
All right.
These are tough questions now. I hope you're ready. We have not prepared this. These are going to come totally out of the blue.
Prepare.
If you were to give yourself, your 18-year-old self, advice right now, what would you give that advice? What advice would you give to the 18-year-old self?
Fuck it. Fuck what people think. Fuck the haters. Fuck anything. Stay true to yourself. Just fuck anything. Yeah, fuck it. Not fuck anything, but
yeah. That's gonna get some signals crossed right there, Fast forward to the future, and you're like, I'm pregnant again. Damn it! Damn you! Taking
fucking alligators.
You notice Tony's asked this question before, and no one ever says the Powerball numbers.
Never.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Powerball numbers.
The Powerball numbers. Because if money can't buy you happiness, well, depression truly is the disease you live with.
All right. So my next question, which will be the capper. If you were to publicize one of the best Australian actors right now in the market, who would you say is your most favorite Australian actor that is getting their big push?
Oh, that's tricky. I mean, I love Chris Hemsworth, but he's already got his push. I'm not going to push him too much further because, he's Thor. One of the actresses that I work with are incredible, absolutely amazing. And she's actually out of work at the moment, but she has got what it takes to be a film star, to be a big movie star. Her name is Tanique Healings. I'm going to say she's the next thing, that she deserves the push. She is absolutely incredible.
She's done some incredible movies. She has a great personality. She's just super beautiful and fit and ready to take on the world, right?
Yeah, she is the sweetest person ever. She's a bit shy on set, but she's the only person I've ever seen go from shy, emotionless to action and just full emotion, literally like a switch. And then and nail it. She's nearly made me cry at rehearsals because I've looked at her face and she looks so scared. I just wanted to pat her like a puppy. But then, I say quit, quit. I say cut, and she's just straight away just goes back to emotionless.
Oh, that's great.
She's just the sweetest person, and she nails everything. I say one time, look, let go, just do it. And she was attacking one of the other, as part of the script, attacking one of the other characters, and I'm like, don't stop until I say cut, just let go, just keep going. And she was up off the ground, someone's lifting her off the ground, she's scratching him, this guy came out with scratches across her, she's screaming, everyone stopped and watched, and I'm like, dude, this girl, she's got it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And what was her name again?
Tanique Healings.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Oh, and
accent
she's
is kind of
beautiful.
tough there. What is that? Tanique Kelly's?
Healings.
Healings.
Hellings.
Oh, Hellings. Hellings?
Yeah.
Hellings. Tanique?
Hellings. Tanique Hellings.
Hellings. Hellings.
That's
That's
an
all right.
Yeah,
interesting
but
name. I
she's
love it.
beautiful
Love
as
it.
well.
It's just-
Beautiful girl.
It's just a fun my brother-in-law is Australian, and soon to be brother-in-law is Australian. He's a really nice guy, but man, when he gets going stringing the words together, I'm like, okay, all right,
I
it gets.
tried not to use too much lingo here.
I know my grandmother, she's 100% Irish. She's 92 years old, so
I was hoping for all of the lingo, Mez. I was hoping
she's got the
like,
Irish brogue going on. You know how they the old joke, right, of how Ireland got its name, right? So Ireland got its name when an Italian guy came over there just in a boat, and he screamed over to the shoreline. He says, "Hey, what do you guys call your island over there?" And a drunk Irish man screamed back. He was drunk out of his mind. He screamed back, "Ireland?" He's like, "All right,
Ireland.
I'll write it down." It's going on.
Nah, our accent is, yeah, I get that a lot. And if I say the wrong thing, like when I'm meeting with people from around the world, I just go, sorry, I'm Australian. And that's my excuse to get out of things. Great. It works every time.
Like Miss Atwood, this is murder we're dealing with, not an indifference.
We're gonna send Sparky over to Australia. We're gonna send Sparky over to Australia in order to do some interviews for the podcast. And what are his chances, especially with an American accent? What are the chances of him picking up a beautiful woman? Does he have good chances? Is what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely. He's a gorgeous model. He will have his choice of the time routes down here in Australia.
See, Spark, we got you covered, buddy.
Look at that. All you need is a round trip ticket, $3,000 about this time of year. Round trip ticket, probably a tuxedo or two, maybe orange or purple, whichever your color might be. Definitely not black. You don't want to look too serious and scare everybody off. Briefcase, crocodile, right? Just to blend in, of course.
And his big board.
And your big board, so that way you can communicate. Or if you ever get something better than a flip phone, you can use your phone and stuff.
Just make sure you come see me, and I'll introduce you to some, gorgeous women.
Perfect, Sparky, you're in. Mezi, we're going to wrap up this show. I'm going to lay out the red carpet for you, of course. If you were going to find you in the production company, of course, how would they find you?
We have a website, so you can Google Mezi Studios, or it comes up when you Google my name, Mezi Atwood, and I'm executive producer, CEO of the company. So yeah.
By the way, both me and Kevin are American actors. We are always looking for jobs. We do have headshots and biographies available. You can find us always.
Hey, here's a fun fact about Tony, by the way. We got the commercial going for the Podguyz podcast. And Mezi, if you've ever done editing, you can appreciate this, especially audio editing. His decibels for his intro are merely identical, and they're differently taped every time. I mean, like, I lined that up to make like two Tonys, and I'm like, they're the same person, and it's like totally different shots. Hi, welcome to the Podguyz podcast. I'm your host, Tony Cass. I lined that up with the same line over and over and over again, and the decibels were they were the same. It was freaking me out. I had to call him over it, right? And I don't know if he appreciated it as much as I'd like him to, but I'm like, dude, you got like, that's good. It's a good consistency. It's fucking weird. We got all the things that you could do with your Podguyz podcast t-shirt, merchbooth.com commercial coming out soon. I was going to get it done over Saturday into Sunday, but well, it was either live another day or, just, or finish the commercial. And, I chose life this time around. It's happens.
Good.
What's wrong with you, Kevin?
Should have died at the editing.
You're a jerk. Sparky, where can you find us if you were looking for us, sir? Oh, one more thing.
Wait, what?
There's
more.
always more?
Pictures by Sparky Balloon, piloted by Holy Folk. Holy Folk. Holy Folk. Co-piloted by Way Too Row and hashtag Bad Year Baroon. Okay. I think I've got my improper accent hyphened over there once I figured out where you're going there with the idea. Nice creditations there, Sparky. I think we've got all of China mad at us. But if China's really mad at us, they'll send a spy balloon over everybody's house and we'll have an overlay. We'll have some more coverage on the show.
Kim Jong Un Jung Il. I don't know. Kim Jong Il. There we go. Kim Jong Il. Podguyz podcast. Send us over to China. I would love to go.
Dude,
I want to talk to him.
That's like North Korea. That is.
I know.
Like Kim Jong Un. Listen here, Putin. Send us to Poland.
Oh yeah, wrong country. Anyways, we are the Podguyz podcast, as we do every Monday. You can find us on all your streaming devices, of course, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, GeoRio, SoundCloud, Amazon Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. Find us everywhere. Just Google us, the Podguyz, Podguyz podcast. We're out, guys. I'm Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neary here.
Of course, the ever-loving weather balloon himself. Mezi, thank you very much for taking the time out on our show as well. We really appreciate
thank you so much.
If you want to plug anything on our particular Facebook page as well, you're more than welcome anytime as well. And
thank you.
We'll definitely talk to you soon.
Absolutely.
Make sure you share, like below as well.
All the things.